Hey Tim, welcome to the channel, man. I'm stoked to see you. So I had a couple questions and comments come in, and I wanted to try to unpack this, if you will, of the difference between terrain association and dead reckoning. Coming up. Right? Because I think sometimes we use some words and we don't really and truthfully understand what they are. And sometimes we start looking down on them. And hopefully through this short video piece, we can try to illustrate the differences and the pros and cons between both of these techniques that are both useful, and we need to truly understand and appreciate them and use them in our kit bag so that as we're moving out through this wilderness, all right, regardless of the situation, the conditions that we come on, we can do so with a lot more confidence. Now, growing up in the military, right, we hear this phrase called dead reckoning, and we hear it quite often. And dead reckoning is a very old technique, right? Sailors used to use dead reckoning for centuries. Anytime that you can't see something to help identify and triangulate where you are, you're in essence, you're using dead reckoning. And so what you're doing is you're using the azimuth, this line that you've been on, in conjunction with how far you've been traveling to understand and extrapolate what your actual location is and what your projected location may be should you continue on the same path. And we can use things like speed and velocity, again, how far we've traveled, how far we want to travel, to try to triangulate some different things and characteristics about what our known location is now, what it was, and what it will be. A lot of people get dead reckoning kind of hemmed up because they think, oh, it's just using a map and compass. And, you know, I think for most of us that may be well and true, but the issue is going to be that it's a lot more detailed and a lot more in-depth than just using a map and compass. Truth be told, you don't need to just use a map and compass, right? Sailors, they could have been using our stars to navigate by, right? Using the sun, using all sorts of other methods that they had at their disposal that we commonly don't use today. And then given that in conjunction with either speed or distance and known distance traveled, you can begin to plot a course. You can look back and understand where you've come from. You can look forward and determine where you want to go. When we truly begin to master this, it's critically important, and where this is the most important for us to be able to use is in areas of low light, areas of thick vegetation where there is no major man-made feature that we can utilize to help understand what our current location is. Does that make sense, friends? Like I got so many dudes in the military who look down on dead reckoning and say, oh, I just use terrain association. Because truth be told, they don't understand what dead reckoning actually is. And so they use this phrase called terrain association. Now, at its root, terrain association is similar, that we're going to deduce what our location is, but as opposed to knowing a fixed point, an azimuth or a distance that we've been on, we're going to use what we see around us. Now, as you can see, there's not much in this particular area looking out in this direction. Now, over here, we have a hill. And I'll pull this up on a map so you can see exactly, I can determine where we're at just based off of, I know that I've been moving towards this hill, and here I have this hill, and so I know where we are at. Right? But so we're going to use natural features like hills, spurs, ridges, valleys, rivers. We're going to use some man-made features like roads and intersections, trails, buildings, power transmission lines. I can use these in conjunction with vegetation or areas of no vegetation, and I can accurately understand where I'm at. But if you're in a place where you don't have these features, or maybe it's low light, maybe you're moving at night, maybe you have a thick coat of fog that's coming through the area, you're not going to be able to see this hill, right? You're not going to be able to see it, friends. And so we need to have other means and other methods that we can use in our kit bag to understand where we're at in time and space. And so these are two techniques that aren't opposing, right? If you can only do one, then you're fooling yourself, friends, because you don't know what the condition that you're going to find yourself in. Maybe you will have some heavy underbrush like this, and it's going to cause you to move off course. And so yes, you need to be able to understand how to read a map and look for some major terrain features that you can use as either a handrail or a backstop, an attack point, something that's going to help guide you and ensure that you're moving in the right direction. But if it's wide open, right, and you don't have any major features available to use, or again, if you're in low light conditions, you need to be able to preset and trust your ability to use a compass so that you can stay on the right azimuth, right? We have to be able to master both of these two things. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the content of the video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. Leave some comments down below. That way I can continue to master my craft of presenting this material and building a sense of confidence in our community as we continue to move out in the woods around us. As always, man, I hope you all are doing well, and until then, you stay stoked.